Howdy, folks. Welcome to Cowboy Garage. Now, I've never seen a car broken quite the way this one is, so come with me. Let's check it out. Now, if you don't know how Volkswagens work, we're going to go over it really simple. Up front, you have your steering gearbox right here, attached to this rack, and you have your suspension links, also attached to the rack, hooked up to some torsion springs running inside those tubes. On the back side, you have your steering linkages, and on the bottom, you have your sway bar. Everything is tied together in one complete unit, held on with 4 bolts, 2 here and 2 here. So for such a simple compact system, what could possibly go wrong? Well, let's take a look on the back side. As we pan over here, I want you to look closely and see if you can figure out what's wrong. Yeah, that's broken. That's broken a lot. So the nut portion isn't even attached to the frame head. The frame head itself is split in half, and you can wiggle the whole entire front end with one hand easily. So if you were to hop in this and drive it down the road, odds are it would make it all the way to the scene of the crash. So we got to fix this. We can't build a car on a broken system. So what's that going to take? Well, the first step is going to be removing the suspension. So we'll start in the back and get that out of the way first. Now, I've got a 19mm socket and a 17mm wrench. The top bolt comes off nice and easy, and the bottom one suffers from a common problem with working on old cars. The nut comes off, but the bolt is rusted up enough that it's kind of stuck in the hole. So I throw the 17mm socket on so I can spin the head of the bolt, and then tap on it with a brass hammer as it's spinning, and that'll usually loosen it up enough that you can pull it out of the hole. So with that out of the way, we just have 3 more bolts. They hold the spring plate to the end of the axle shaft. Now, as I was pointing out there, you can't really get straight at them. So a couple of wrenches would work, or an impact swivel socket. Or you could be really dumb and use a 50-year-old universal joint like I am. Hopefully it's your lucky day. In this case, I didn't die, so it's all good. So the first 2, no drama. And then all of a sudden, I forgot how to use my hands or my tools or maybe my brain. Whatever it was a little awkward, and then I got it figured out. So we'll get that 3rd bolt out of the way, and then we're done over here. I've already done the other side of the car, so we're done with the outboard portion. So now we just have to get the transmission bolts loose. I did cut the brake lines as well as the emergency brake cables because they're all junk. But, do what you need to do on your particular vehicle. So then we go to the tunnel here in front of the transmission, remove this access panel. It's just one flathead screw. Pop it up, and there's these little retainers that hold the shift linkage to the nose of the transmission. Some safety wire needs to be cut, and then you have a little square drive bolt that you just need to break it loose and unscrew it. You don't have to do both of them. You can just do the back one. And then the easiest way to get these front transmission bolts loose is with a 17mm socket on a really long extension. Yep, just like that. And once you get those out, we hop to the back for the very last 2 bolts. Now a 28mm socket will take these loose. I prefer to run them out and then screw them back in a few threads, or just stop a few threads shy of all the way out. That way you can do your wiggling and jiggling and grunting and getting the transmission kind of unstuck without the risk of dropping it on your feet. So I loosened them, left them in a few threads, got it wiggled up, but then I was ready to remove it completely, at which point don't forget to take those out. Now remember that foreshadowing from earlier? What's about to happen? Oh yeah, that's right. George forgot to take the clutch cable all the way loose. So now we got to wiggle that out. But with that out, I didn't drop it on my toe but a little bit. And now the whole rear end is done. It's gone. So we can go back to the front of the car. Well, I'm not going for beautiful. I just want it to hold enough to unscrew those bolts. So let's see what happens. So from this point, it's as simple as use the engine hoist or something to keep it from falling in your lap, zip out the last of the bolts, and then once again cut the brake lines. Now, as I said earlier, this is a complete unit. It comes off as one piece, so all you gotta do is lift a little bit and pull it away. Pretty simple design, huh? Yeah, I like these cars. So now comes the fun part. I really enjoy lifting things with the engine hoist. And this time I got it a little straighter than lifting the body off of the pan. So we're going to lift it up and put it on these sawhorses. That empty pan probably only weighs a couple 100 pounds. I know I can easily lift one end of it and move it around on the sawhorses. So you don't need anything super structural for this. Those sawhorses are rated for 1,500 pounds, and that is more than enough to hold this in place. So, kind of wiggle it around, get it where I'm happy, and ease that bleeder valve open, and let it sit down on the pan so that we can have a better look at what's going on. So let's go in for a closer look. We already saw some of the damage, but it's worse than that. So here's the backside where we started off. We saw that at the beginning of the video. You see the welds where I cobbled it together enough to get the bolts unscrewed. Look at those splits. I mean, the whole thing's separated, but as we come around, look closely. You'll find a couple dozen cracks in this thing, all over. At one point I was debating just beveling the cracks and welding it all back together, but the more I looked, the more I knew that was a terrible idea. So that's that side. Now let's look at the good side. You may be as surprised as I was. So over here on the part that I thought was solid, it turns out that's not really the case over here either. So look in this crease behind the bolts. Nice split running top to bottom. And there's even some cracks around those nuts. So this side was about to fall apart just like the other side did. No doubt caused by fatigue of being the only side holding the whole suspension in place. But yeah, we're ordering some new parts. Well, folks, there you have it. We've got the new head in. So thanks for watching. Hopefully you'll join us next time as we go about the process of installing this and talking about the unfortunate state of aftermarket sheet metal in this world today. So thanks again. God bless.